everyone, Michelle Fix-It here today. It's very cold and it is also sunny. So today's video we are going to change out the back window of a 2006 Chevy Trailblazer. So this is the passenger rear, but it would be the same if you were having to do it on the driver rear door. So as you can see, it's busted. We did not bust it, but evidently this is a common issue that Trailblazers can have, is sometimes people lock their keys in their car and then they have to change out the window because this is the window of choice for busting. So I'm fresh from being back from the junkyard because I have two other windows. This one is for a baby Trailblazer. So if you have a regular Trailblazer, I will have one of these for sale because the seller labeled it as an EXT, which is this version of the Trailblazer, and it is not an EXT window. This is from an EXT, but this is the driver's side, so I will have that for sale as well. And now I finally have the correct window to replace this window. So let's get started, shall we? Dun, 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 dun. Unveiling the correct window. Yay! And I brought my handy dandy little tool bag with me to the junkyard to pull this guy. There's a video for that. And we're going to use the same tools to get this door off. So first thing you're going to do is right here, you're going to pull that black piece off nicely. They do break all the time very easily. If you haven't replaced one of those guys before, at some point you will. So you just grab, pull nicely. It has 4 feet, and there you go. You make sure your feet are intact. All 4 feet are intact. So they kind of grab in from the side. I'm trying to get you guys side angle. I'm gonna stick that over there. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to pull this little door hand, or the cover for the window control. You're going to want a flathead screwdriver for that. There's a clip on the short side and a clip on the other short side, but you go for the long side first just to get a little flexibility. Come on. There we go. And then you'll have this little guy. You'll have this little guy right here, and you are going to push in this piece, the orange piece that's inside the black. And it does give up a little bit of a fight, and if you move it around, you do have some slack. So you push this in, and then it starts coming out, and I'm just going to help along with this flathead, just a smidge. And there we go. Retain that. If you go to test the window and that's not in, your window is not going to work. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to pry this little guy out. So again, we go for the middle. We have 2 side clips on the short ends. So there's 1, 2, this one is yucked up. So again with the feet, and after you put it back in again, or before you put it back in, you're going to want to bend it back so that it's flat instead of being beveled. I left mine beveled because unfortunately I started taking the door off, didn't have the right parts, and fun stuff ensued. We're going to have to remove these 2 bolts right here. That's a 7. We will verify that momentarily. Get a toolbox out. Pull out a 7, check it. It is a 7. You don't have to have a drill. You can use a ratchet. Drills just make everything faster. Or screw guns. I found out recently people call them screw guns. So just pop those two guys out. Keep up with your screws or your bolts, whatever you want to call them. And then you're going to get your flathead again. And I typically start at the bottom of the door. When you start at the bottom of the door, it's just easier. So you stick a flathead, or if you have one of those plastic specialty tools, you can stick that in there as well. But you're basically creating a gap, and there's going to be a clip right here, and there's a clip right here. So you're going to pull up on one clip nicely. Alright, that one's undone. And then you're going to work your way around the sides. Oh, well, this side went a little bit better, faster than this side did. You're going to do the same thing on this side. Wiggle, jiggle, pull. There we go. That's muddy over there. So we're gonna stick this over here. We don't want a muddy door pedal. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to undo this guy. This is a 10. Yep, 10. And be careful, because if there was broken glass, you'll probably have broken glass. So it's best to do this with gloves, but I'm being extra cautious for anyone that wants to say that I could have injured myself. Being very extra cautious. And look, I even found a piece of glass and I did not cut myself on it. All right. So now we are going to roll the window down so that we can have better access for pulling this window out and installing the other one. And I didn't follow my own advice. You have to plug this little guy in. You have to plug him back in to roll down your window, or roll down your window beforehand. All right. And now what we're going to do, take the key out of the ignition. Is you're going to very aggressively, but not really, I just do it because it's funny, be very aggressive, manhandle this door. Roar. And look, it came out. Easy peasy. Now, to make things easier, you are going to remove this piece of your door trim. 1, 2, 3 clips. They look like this. So just be gentle. Yours may put up a little bit of a fight. These were previously taken out, so they're less fighty right now. And you're gonna take out your old window, or lack of window, mainly rubber. You're gonna throw it away, because now you're tired of that window. And you threw it the last time you did a video, but then you had to clean it off and then put it back in here because you had the wrong parts. Now we're gonna put the right part in. Ooh, the right part, yay. And you just stick this guy, oh, and also when you get your new little guy, you want to make sure that there's a clippy right here, because that's going to clip into a little area over here. So you're going to stick this guy in, and you're going to line up the track. Let me give you guys a close-up of that. So you see how there's a track right here? So this track, like right here, you have a thickening, and then you have like this little cutout area right here. You're gonna have this track and that track match up. And you're gonna make sure that little clippy goes in there too. Oh, and you have to make sure that this guy is right here, which he is not, and that's why he's not just going in really easily. And the other thing you want to check is, you see this trim piece right here? You're going to want to pull this out a little bit so that this guy nests in there. Okay, that's critical. None of those other videos, because I do watch videos before I do stuff, none of the other videos made mention of that. And in fact, a lot of people kind of corrected it after the fact. But if you just hold it while you're installing the window, it just makes for easier times. And then again, what you're doing right here is you're making sure that this guy's matched up with the hole, because otherwise you're going to sit here and fight with this window. And you have to make sure your little clippy guy is on track. Our clippy guy is on track, and you wanted to hear that click, and you have that click, which is fantastic, because pretty soon you're going to be done with this window and you're never going to think about it again, unless it's been broken for a while, and then you'll think about it every time you see the window. All right, and we're going to put our rubber stuff back in here. Smushy, smushy, smushy. This part you have to bend in to stick it in. And it's easier if you just do it from this side once you get to this part. And you're just going to tuck the furry rubberized part into the other furry rubberized part right here. Line everything up. Boom, bang. Easy peasy. Now we're going to roll it up so that we know that everything is on track the way that it needs to be. Everything is good. Ooh, cool. Not as cool that it like tightened up at the end right there. All right, let's try that again. Ooh. Ooh. Still not a fan of that. That might be a window regulator thing. I don't know. All right, we're gonna take the ignition, the key out of the ignition. So we're gonna grab and just smush everything in really, really well, and we're gonna try that again, because I think it still had some give that it was trying to give. Down, up. Better. So give it an extra tightening, and then once you've done all those things, now you can put your bolts back in. Bam. And look, there's some more glass. Still more glass. Should take a vacuum to that and vacuum that track out. All right, and we're gonna put our window back, or put our door back on. Yes, I know the key's still in the ignition. All right, we're gonna push the brown clip in. You guys can't see. This is like the most annoying part of it, honestly. This little brown clip. So you smush it in, and while it's smushed in, you try to pull it, and it wants to give you a little bit of time. And you use your flathead. If you had like 3 hands, this would be way easier. There we go. Push, pull, push, pull. All right. Back you guys back up again. Voila. There you are. We get our door. And we voila our door. And now to put this little connector piece back in. Okay. That's kind of essential. And then you're going to try to make sure that this door ends up on this track. Okay, now we know that that part of the door is on the track. And then I typically start at the bottom and then I work my way up. But I try to keep a hand up here so that way everything's good. So I'm looking for clippies. Actually, I'm going to go from the top. And that's where it always ends up messing stuff up. Is if you're not keeping your hand here and you start going for the sides, it's going to start jostling all over the place, which is really annoying. And you're just going to kind of push down. See? And it's already off track because I didn't keep my hand there. Get back on your lines. Just work your way. Oh man. Okay. I forgot to put this guy back in first because this guy has a recess. So if you forget, you put it in there and you line it up with the little hole areas. Bam. Then you start smushing. Go around the door. Smush. And you should have inspected your little clippies too to make sure that they were all functional and working. I've got one in here that is not functional and working. So I will end up having to replace that, but not right now. You want to check all these lips and stuff. Unless you want your door panel to end up like flopping around and annoying the crap out of you. So you see how this right here is not where it's supposed to be? We're just shoving that in there. There we go. Happy little door. And if your panels start doing this separation stuff, if you get a butter knife and you put it in there, you push it down, you can form it back into place. Just push. I'll give this just a second more. And this is just a common Trailblazer issue, so I'll play around with that a little bit more in another video. But essentially it's hard smushing this way, smushing down, and there you go. Alright, so we're going to reconnect this guy. Easy clip in, bam. We're just going to line him up, smush him back down. Now he's done. And then we have our two kind of crusty screws. That's going to be our 7. Put our 7 back on here. Whoop. That one's done. That one's good. Go back to this one. Both of them are good. We're going to get our little flippy guy. Ran away. Oh, here he is. So he's going to go back in here. Just smush him in. Use a flathead. And again, I bent that back because it will develop a little bit of a curve to it. Then we get our little guy, and we don't put him in upside down. You match up to the lines. He has a stick, so you have to put the stick in the hole, and then you have little feet. And the feet have to be on this side, not on this side. So you just look at all your little feet, make sure that they are all where they need to be, because they get busted. And then you look and you smush, because Trailblazers like to be smushed. Now that's all properly seated, and you're good to go. You have a window that works again. Aren't you excited? I'm excited. Yay! No more stupid blue tape. So you guys like and subscribe. Have a fantastic day. I will see you next time. If you have any Trailblazer questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to ask in the comments, because this is one of 2 Trailblazers that we have. We have a 03 and a 06. Both of them are the EXTs. We do not have a baby Trailblazer. Just give us time. We now have two big ones, one mommy and one daddy. So we may end up with a baby Trailblazer. You never know. But I guarantee that if we do, it'll either be red or it'll end up red. So have a great day, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.